Hey everybody, this is Deborah with Redirecting, and I have a very interesting story that is probably going to grow some of you out, but I wanted to talk about this because it just shows again why you cannot eat everything that is put before you. Not everyone can be trusted. You cannot eat everything that is put before you. Well, anyway, there is a teen who baked some cookies with her grandfather's ashes in them, and she brought them to school to share with her friends. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. Well, I'm going to read a little bit of this article, and I'm going to say just a few words on this because this story is just so horrendous, but it speaks for itself in that there are some people who are not wrapped too tight in this world. And as my mom used to say, their elevator doesn't go all the way to the top, or they have some screws missing. And she would also say that they are a few slices short of a loaf of bread. Some of you may have heard some of those sayings before, but anyway, I'm going to read some of this article here. It says, a Davis High School student allegedly baked her grandfather's ashes into a batch of sugar cookies and gave them to her classmates, some of whom were aware they contained human remains before they ate them, authorities said. Now that's even more strange. It says, some of whom were aware that they contained human remains before they ate them. Okay, anyway, it says, a female student at Da Vinci Charter Academy, a public charter high school, brought the cookies to school on October 4th and gave them to at least 9 other students, said Davis Police Lieutenant Paul Duroshow. Some ate the cookies without knowing the extra ingredients were horrified, he said, but others knew. Oh my goodness. The fact that some of them knew is just appalling to me. But anyway, it says some students knew beforehand and still consumed the cookies, Duroshow said. Asked if the allegation seemed credible, Duroshow gave a long sigh. Yeah. A school resource officer reported that 2 female students were involved in bringing the cookies to school, Duroshow said. Their relationship is unclear, but the girls are not siblings, and the deceased man was the grandfather of only one of them, he said. Duroshow said police opened a case and have been trying to determine which penal code would apply to baking human remains into food. Officers considered a California Penal Code section regarding the disposal of human remains in an improper manner, but public nuisance charges might be more appropriate, he said. Authorities are working with the school to determine how to best proceed, he said. The students have been cooperating with the investigation, Duroshow said. Okay, I'm going to stop right there if you want to read the rest of the article. If I remember, I will put a link to the story. But I thought that was just very grotesque. It was just, it's one of those things that is very creepy, especially for the students who knew that this happened, but they ate the cookies anyway. It makes you wonder about the mental state of some people that are walking around free, okay? And the fact that these young women thought it was a good idea. They had no respect for their grandfather, obviously. I don't know if this is related somehow to some type of Halloween joke or prank or whatever, or even if this news is even real. To me, it is just unfathomable that this could be real news. But guess what? You have people in the world who do things like this. So I am not surprised in the least if this is a true story. I wouldn't be surprised at all. There are people that are very mentally disturbed. In my opinion, I consider that to be demonically possessed, because to even consider doing something like this, you obviously have no type of spirituality whatsoever, no type of respect for the dead, no respect for your own parents, just no respect for anyone. And to even bring them to your classmates, I have no words for that other than for those of you who have friends bringing treats and cookies and things of that nature to school, you might want to consider not accepting the free gifts. Just allowing them to just keep it. Say, no, you know what, I'm going to pass on that. because not everyone can be trusted. And so I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. I just wanted to share that bit of information with you, just to warn you, and which many of you already know. A lot of black people, we just have this thing, many of us, where we're just funny about what we eat. And so we wouldn't have a problem turning down the cookies, if you know what I mean. But for those of you who just eat anything, I would say think twice before you take the cookies, okay? Because you don't know whose hands prepared them, and you don't know what they put in them, okay? With that, family, I'm going to say shalom.